Hey guys, this is Stefan. How are you? In this video, we're going to talk about what LUMIPro can do to help support moving the eyes of either yourself or the model that you're working with. And I'm going to use Sammy, who's wearing one of her lovely new outfits, and I guess she's going to be crediting her outfits in the video. So life is cool here. So let me just zoom in on Sammy for a second, and she is wearing the catwa head. And if you notice with the catwa head, the eyes actually bounce around a little bit. There's a AO associated with the catwa head, the bento head, and with the AO on, then the eyes are bounced around. So I'm going to ask Sammy, turn your AO off for a second. And what you'll see is now all of a sudden the eyes are moving quite a bit more dramatically around. And it's really wherever her mouse is at. And I think she's moving her mouse around just to kind of prove the point here. So in either case, when you're trying to take a shot, and so by the way, I saved a couple camera angles here. Let's take a look at a couple of these here. I'll restore this camera angle as one example. And I have another camera angle here. And if you notice, the eyes are kind of be interesting, but also the eyes cannot be necessarily exactly what you want. I am going to use the mouse wheel and freeze her into a shot here so we can take a look at it here. And if I unlock the camera and relock it, you can see that the eyes are kind of moving in both these camera angles that I'm looking at. Not necessarily the camera angles I want. Okay, so what we have here is, and I can flip this around so you can see it, there's something called an eyeball, and there it is. And the purpose of this eyeball is to give an animation way of doing this. So with Samantha selected as the model, I can now move the eyes around. And so I'm going to click in the exact center and it makes her look straight. I can make her look left and right and up and down. Oh my God, I love these bento heads. Notice how the skin is stretching. This is so cool. But in either case, it's more than just left, right, up, down. I can actually pick slight graduations here. So I can pick slightly to the left and slightly down, for example. I can pick over in here. And in either case, this gives a fairly decent way of managing the eyes. Now, what the problem with this scheme has a little bit is there's no concept of depth of field. When I say look this way, the eyes are going to be different whether the camera is here or whether the camera is going to be right on her face. And so it's a little bit off, but it works pretty well. So I can go ahead, for example, and let's say I like this camera angle. Now I can actually save the lights, the camera, and the pose on this one and hit save. And notice up in here, it's a little hard to see with the white in the room here. Is there any way I can get that a little bit better? The eye position is saved as part of this. And then I can come back in here and let's pick another camera angle that we might like here. I don't want to take too much time doing this, but we can kind of look at the eyes and we can make her, maybe we can make her look up in a little dreamy or something like that. And then I can go into position 2 and save that, lights, camera, and pose. And now I can do a restore on 1. But we have to hit escape and notice how she's looking this way. And then I can hit the restore on 2. And her eyes are up and a little dreamy, and that works great. So this is one option and one way of doing this. By the way, the eyes are in animation. You hit stop over in here to stop all the animations, and this will release both the animation and the eye animation she's in. Let me go ahead and repose her again. We have one more scheme that we can use on this thing, and this does require res. This is the old scheme that we had, and under the res menu there's something called an eye gazer. And when the eye gazer is resed, it says, Samantha, please alt-click here. Now, let me go into preferences and let's talk about look ats. So if I type the word look at over in, that's under privacy, I think. Here's the look ats here. And, oops, except for it just went away. Do it this way here. Look at. First of all, I can show the look at targets, and it'll show the crosshairs. Many of you guys are familiar with this, and right now Sammy is looking at this eye gazer. Good. Sammy, go ahead and look off the eye gazer. Click on something else. And you'll see her eyeballs moving around. Now, the other thing is you need to make sure that the person doesn't have either of these three boxes checked. And if either of these three boxes are checked, her avatar does not broadcast her eye position, and this is something we need. Okay, go ahead and alt click back on the eye gazer. And you'll see when she clicks on the eye gazer, notice that it's locked into her. I can turn off this look at, showing the look at targets here. Now, this thing is somewhat of an older legacy design here, but effectively this thing moves around with the projector screen. And so let me zoom in on her while we're doing this. And what happens is her eyes are now tracking this look at. And this is actually a better scheme because it understands distance. So her two eyes are actually both triangulating on this as opposed to the eye animator that can't do that. So if I move it closer to her, a little hard to see, the eyes actually track on this thing a little bit better, and so I can get this just the way I want on her eyes, and then have the shot. This gives slightly better control than the eye animation. Okay, so with either the eye animator or with the eye gazer, we can just sit there and, like I said, I can hit restore here on this position here, and you can see I can hold on to that. And the cool thing is because now I've got this set up with this model, another day I could save these presets and use this on another model another day. And being able to control the eyes gives a much better way to tell a story about how of what's going on between the model and the photographer in there. So maybe something like that. We'll save that into position 3. Okay, that's it, guys.